Welcome to another episode of High Proof Ashes. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason JB Smoke, and I've got over here.
I'm Duran, no cool nickname, but you know how I do. Back in the building, episode 15?
16, I think.
16.
16.
I think we off, but
We might be.
we might be.
Ah.
It don't matter.
No, I think you're right. I think this is 15.
It's 15?
So, yeah, I think you're right.
But we back in the building, man.
Yeah, man.
You know.
We back at it, and here to bring you something different, new, exciting.
Yeah.
This is a cigar that both of us really love.
Yes.
Duran and the group were the ones that showed the cigar to me for the first time. So, and we're here to bring it to you.
Yeah.
So what we have here is the LFD La Nox. So that's the Flor Dominicana La Nox, which
it's actually Dominicana.
Dominicana, Flor Dominicana.
Yeah, Dominicana. Flor
Okay.
Dominicana.
All right. So, and this one, the La Nox stands for the night.
Yes.
Right. And they do have one that stands for the day, the Solace.
Mm-hmm.
And so
which is great as well.
It's a great cigar. But this thing here has a super dark, oily Maduro wrapper.
Yep. Brazilian Maduro.
That's right. With a binder of San Andreas.
Mexican San Andreas.
Mexican San Andreas.
Yes, sir.
And then some Dominican fillers.
Yes, sir.
And so this is a very enjoyable cigar. It's very dark. It's very rich.
It is full body.
It is very much full body.
So please understand, if you are new to this cigar thing, you jump in on this cigar, this is going to punch you in the face.
It will.
Right? So this is not for the novice smoker. It's a phenomenal stick, very flavorful, and not too expensive. That's the beauty of it. Is like, and I don't think anything from La Flor Dominica,
It's not.
Dominicana, whatever you prefer, it's too expensive.
It's not. I mean,
Right.
I think pretty much all their offerings are like under $15. They have a few that are out there.
With a few, yeah.
There's a few exceptions, but I think the majority, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think they're all relatively affordable.
And they're all, I haven't had one, LFD, that I haven't enjoyed.
I agree.
So,
Yep.
And then what are we drinking?
So today we have a criteria bottle. Since we don't have a snappier name to call our criteria stuff, right? We're just calling it our criteria bottle.
Right.
And so what we have here today is the Huling Station Straight Bourbon. It is an MGP. It is 4 years at least, according to Huling Station, and it is right at 100 proof.
All right.
And price point is $38.
Okay. So it fits everything that we're looking for.
That's right.
So again, just to remind you guys, even though Jason said them all, we're going to give them to you very quickly. So at least 100 proof, at least 4 years old, and under $40.
That's right.
So those are the three to be part of our criteria bottles. So tonight we're going to find out if this one stands up to the test, if it's flavorful to us, if it's worth drinking again. And it doesn't look like Jason's tapped it too hard.
I took a few sips just to remind myself, because it's probably been 6+ months since I've ever had this.
Okay.
So
I've never had it. So it'll be a completely new try for me.
Mm-hmm. And as far as like the mash build is concerned, I thought it was interesting. It's barely a bourbon. It's 52% corn.
Ah, okay.
So it's barely a bourbon.
Uh-oh.
And it's something like 44% rye. So that doesn't leave much, and I think the rest is just barley. So it won't be overly sweet, from the corn. But just from having the few sips that I've had already, even though it's 44% rye, I didn't get that rye spice.
Okay.
So it's pretty well balanced. As far as our criteria bottles go, I think it's a pretty good one.
Okay.
I think it's pretty good.
I like it. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get lit up here. This is a little bit longer smoke. So what size is this? This
is well, they only make the La Nox in a Toro and a petite.
Yeah, the little petite joint.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they don't make this in a bunch of sizes, and I love the Toro size. That's my favorite size. The draw is impeccable on this thing. Like, all right, so I keep talking about using a dang spliff.
Use the spliff, man.
To light, and I keep forgetting, so I'm going to do it this time.
And then after he lights with the spliff, we're going to get him to talk about it, why, you know, it's a thing. Man, right off the bat, that is a whole lot of flavor, buddy.
And this might not be a big enough split, so let me get a bigger one. The thing about spliffs is, like, if you get too thick, it doesn't stay lit. Well, that one wasn't thick enough. So let's try this bigger one.
There we go. That looks like a good one.
There we go.
Great smoke production, as you can see.
Oof.
You know, really coming through there, right? From the top, from the foot. Great dark wrapper there, man. Like, just really beautiful.
Yeah.
So with using the spliff there, you know, what's the reasoning?
So a lot of these are actually a lot of boxes include like a I'm going to call it a slab, but a sheet of cedar.
Yep.
That you can break up into these little pieces, and they're really, really good to use to light cigars. And some people only light their cigars this way. And you can buy spliffs that are pre-shaped and everything that to be perfect, you know, whatever. But the idea is that you're getting the cedary flavoring from that flame.
Absolutely.
You know, you're totally excluding the butane out of the picture, and so it's just a natural flame, natural soft flame, and it's supposed to give you the best, you know, kind of lighting opportunity that you can get.
So the crazy thing is like when you look at like some of these different countries, when you see, you know, your cigar rollers and different people smoking cigars, you never actually see them using a torch, right? It's so rare that you actually see, you know, somebody who is a cigar manufacturer or a roller using a torch.
It's true.
A lot of times you'll see them using Bic lighters, just regular old.
Yeah, because they're easy.
They're easy, right?
And they're cheap.
They're cheap, easy to throw away, get another one. Or sometimes you'll see them using matches.
Yep. Matches are a big thing. Yep.
And then a spliff is probably, you know, a little bit higher end, but you know, a torch, if you use it wrong, can damage your cigar.
You can totally just char the cigar.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, with the soft flame that the spliff provides, you can't overheat the cigar.
Right.
And so it takes that variable away.
Absolutely. Because I have seen some people that are like, you know, that flame is just, they use that torch and it's like right on top of it, and it's like, man, all you're doing is burning up that tobacco right at the bottom there, man. Like, you know, but hey, still gonna smoke the same.
And now you've got these what are they called, those plasma lighters, where they have no, have you ever heard of these? So they have no fuel, they just have a battery.
Okay.
And it literally creates plasma out of the air.
That's crazy.
It's like 3,000 degrees. Okay, but you need no fuel. All you gotta do is recharge it.
So it'll still melt skin, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, but there were, you know, but some people, it's a convenience thing, I guess. Maybe, you know, you don't have to worry about fuel.
That would probably be a problem for me because I'm terrible about refilling my lighters. I can only imagine.
You'd have to remember to charge it.
Yeah, I can only imagine having to remember to charge a lighter. Like, you know, like get to the lounge or get over here and it's just like, this thing is not working. Like, you know, well, I didn't plug it in for the last 2 weeks.
Right. So cigar, I mean, smoke production is just ridiculous. Like, immediately the room is smoky.
Yeah.
You know, so the rabbit air is going to have fun playing catch up with this one.
Yeah, it's going to have to do some work tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but again, these are phenomenal cigars, and I guess since we're here and I'm holding it up like this, we can take a look at the band. You know, of course, it's a very simplistic band, but a beautiful band. So top one says LFD. It's got some clouds and like a crescent moon on there. And then below it says La Nox on a separate, smaller band. And as Jason said, that means the night. So, you know, it's like a night scene all the way around the cigar with the crescent moon in the sky. Really well done band, but very simplistic.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
but goes really well with this dark wrapper.
wrapper. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it all symbolizes like exactly what the name of
Yeah,
the cigar is.
I
Right?
agree.
So I think they did a great job putting it together. It's one of the more simple bands on the market, but it is very well done.
Yep.
So,
And this cigar is part of their. They've had several cigars in this line. You know, they have the Chapter One,
mhm,
the I think it's called the Capitulo Two. This, the La Vacata, the
mhm.
Illusion Bowl, right? So these are all part of a succession line. But the La Nox and the La Vacata, I believe, they're in regular production. They're
Yes,
limited, but regular production.
but you can normally like if you go
So
to
not
a
crazy limited,
yeah,
but
like
they're
if you
limited,
go to your brick and mortar shop and they have a fairly decent selection, you can normally find those in there.
especially if they
If
do.
they stock LaFleur,
That's right.
if they stock LFD, you'll normally be able to find the Lennox because it is not overly expensive.
Right.
I hate to say it's their entry line, but like that's really pretty close to where it is, like as far as price point and you
Well,
know.
I think their core stuff, like the chisel, right, which is like their trademark
Hmm.
thing, right? That is more like their core entry level. I
But
think
they're all around the same price
they
point.
are. They are. Those aren't that much cheaper than this one.
Yeah,
So, but it's a great cigar. It's a full of flavor. It's full bodied, full strength. I
absolutely,
mean, it's full of everything. Very well balanced, though.
absolutely.
Like that's I can't say enough about that. It's just extremely well balanced.
I agree. It's one of those cigars that if it's going to be, I don't know too many people that are going to smoke this as a first cigar of the night. Like
You.
I do. So it doesn't bother me, but like it's one of those that you might want to have a full stomach. You know, you want to eat something. You know, make sure you've got some water or a soda, something to drink with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like because it is full body, man, like and full strength. But it's also very much full of flavor. So I think it's a cigar that anyone would be very happy to smoke and enjoy smoking.
But I mean, I'm having no trouble retroing it pretty much right off the bat. You know, it's not blowing me away. It's not singeing any hairs,
Right.
which speaks well to its balance. But let's talk about the bourbon here. You say you've had Huling Station before, right? Maybe not this one, but
Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
okay.
So it's sweet, and surprisingly, I do get a little rye spice.
I mean, you're gonna get it. It's 44%, so I
I
mean,
get a
it's
little
there.
bit,
But but at 44%, you'd expect way more.
yeah. So it's not like overbearing. Um, little bit of a little sting on the back end.
So when I did my little taste, take a few sips of it before, I thought it tasted a little proofy.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. And for it to only be 100 proof, I think it drinks more than 100.
it does drink slightly over 100, I think, but it's not bad.
No,
It's not bad.
it's got great flavor.
Yeah, I mean, for what you're getting, it's got great color.
Hmm.
You know, it
So when we say great color, if you'll pick that glass up and just kind of tilt it a little bit and
Mhm.
take a look at what you see there. You can see it's darker. Some of your less expensive bourbons, whiskeys will be really light in color. Um, but this one has a great color. It's very viscous too, right? Pause before I even say it. Full mouth feel. I haven't hit him with a pause in a couple episodes, I don't think. So there you are. But so far so good. It's enjoyable.
it is. It's not gonna doesn't break the bank. It's got a ton of flavor. If you're just looking for something different that you can just put on the shelf and have whenever, this can easily be a daily drinker.
And that's
You
one
know,
of the beautiful things about this list of
criteria bottles.
criteria bottles that
Yeah.
we're doing, right?
Mhm.
Like a lot of them are going to come in at a really affordable price
That's right.
and be really, really tasty. Now, of course, they have their quirks as well, right? Like they're inexpensive bottles, so like don't expect high end bottles from the criteria bottles that we're doing. But what we're looking for is those things that you can get that are readily available when you go into your local, liquor store, spirit store, pick up
Right.
and enjoy it, and not have to worry about going to 16 different stores to find it.
Right. Or breaking the bank when you do.
Absolutely.
So, you don't have to go to lotteries and all that. Like, this is readily available on the shelf. next to a bunch of other bottles offerings that they have.
Yeah.
But none of those met the criteria, whether it be proof or price.
Age or price.
It was more price than anything else. Most of I think there might have been one other one that was under 40, and all the rest of them were over $40.
Okay.
So not to say that those would not be good, but we're trying to keep firm to this criteria where we can bring you some decent bottles for a decent price, with good flavor, and a decent amount of proof. Like we've just found that once you get under 100 proof, there's not that many out there, that really kind of meet that. This is really great.
Wow you with the flavor.
That's right.
Right. So,
that's right.
And there are good bottles under 100 proof, so don't take us as saying that there aren't, because you'll see on our podcast that we drink all over the place, right? Like at all ranges. But we just find that 100 proof marker is really where the flavor starts to really peak, right?
Yep.
But then again, you'll also catch us drinking things that are much higher on the scale.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we've had a couple in the 120s and 130s.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are ones that you're really looking for them not to just singe the back of the throat just because they're up there. But it's all a matter of personal preference. I mean, we've had several of the criteria bottles, and it's funny. One of the first ones we had, I think, is still the best one. Can you remember it? What's the best criteria bottle we've had so far that you can remember? I'll put you on the spot.
Man, like maybe Tumbling Dice.
That's it. That's
Tumbling
the one.
Dice.
Yeah, Tumbling Dice.
Yeah,
I think is the best one so
Tumbling
far.
Dice so far has been like that one that like
it just blows me away how good it is and how much it is. Like,
because it's actually like $32.
Yeah,
like it's really inexpensive.
It's really inexpensive,
and
it's really good.
But they have a whole a suite of different things that you can get. But I don't think anyone is as good as the one that we picked out. But I don't remember specifically. Like that one's like it had a specific name, didn't it? I feel like they all look different because there's more than one Tumbling Dice.
So the only other one that we've had was like a single barrel that Corey brought in. But as far as
other ones,
I don't know that there is.
I could have swore there were others. We'll have to look that up and see.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up. I mean, I don't recall. So, but this one is I would say in the middle ground of all of our criteria bottles. It's not the best that we've had, but not the worst.
No, it ranks higher than the list. Because it's actually a very good bottle. Like the more I sip on it, the more I find that the nuances are very complex.
Like the one thing that's holding it back is that it tastes proofy.
It tastes proofy.
But the flavors are there.
Are very good, yeah.
So like if you're all about flavors, this is really good. Like I'm not disappointed.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit. So what are your thoughts on the cigar up to this point?
Man, I tell you, after you get past that first inch, it really if you thought it was strong when you lit it, after that first inch or so, it
just ramps up a little bit.
It just ramps up,
Mike Tyson level.
That's right. It takes it up a notch.
Mike Tyson level.
Everybody's
got a plan until
I keep retroing it, and I can tell it's just getting stronger.
I actually didn't retro this.
Oh man,
I've done it previously, but not tonight. I haven't. So why not?
See, I feel like the retro is where you get so much more, like so many more different nuanced flavors whenever you retro a cigar. And so for the beginners out there, if you don't normally retro, which I recommend that you don't, if you're a beginner, what you can do to kind of build yourself into retroing is, well, number one, don't smoke a full flavored cigar.
Yeah.
But what you can do is you can take your draw and then blow some of the smoke out of your mouth and then the rest of it out of your nose. Yeah. You don't have to do the whole
don't do the whole thing.
Out of your nose. And something like this, I wouldn't recommend even a seasoned cigar smoker to do. Yeah. But
what'd you get on the retro? Because for me, I got I got some chocolate.
See, yeah,
I got some charcoal.
I'm getting chocolate covered peanuts.
Okay. Okay. like, so I got chocolate and I got like some charcoal, and that may be because recently I've been, cooking on the grill again,
Mm-hmm.
and so like the charcoal smell was fresh to me.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's coming through.
Yeah.
But man, it's such a phenomenal cigar, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if you look at it, like the construction is great, right? Like,
Yeah.
look at that ash, nice and compacted. Great smoke production, because like I don't know if you can see the whisk of smoke coming off that thing, but it's just really, really, really well made. Great smoke production, and if you know us, we love smoke production, right? So I think you can't go wrong with this, man. Like, phenomenal cigar. Look at that, like just billowing up the stick there.
Yeah. I mean, it's just following
Yeah,
the cigar up. Like that's, for us, like that's a big deal.
yeah.
Like when I see that right there, what I mean. I mean, I know you guys can see this on camera. Like just the whiffs, just it's crazy. It's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but anyway,
Let's see if I can pull anything else out of this bourbon here.
I feel like this bourbon would really benefit from like pour it in your glass and let it sit in there for like 10 minutes or
It
so.
would open up probably a little bit.
And I think that ethanol might kind of burn off
Disperse
just a little bit, yeah. And kind of curious. I want to let it sit in there for a little bit.
You might even be able to try like a few drops of water, right?
Maybe.
Like, so I know that's a thing for some people. Or over ice, right? Like, I'm not an ice guy. I drink just about everything neat.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, neat means nothing else in my glass, just bourbon. So for me, I'm a neat guy. You might do rocks, which means ice. Some people do mixers. I'm not a fan of mixing bourbon, but to each his own. But yeah, I think you might be right. Like that ethanol might disperse just a bit if we let it sit for a little while. But either way, I still think it's a great pour.
Yeah.
I think it's a pour that's worth trying.
And it's a pretty unique bottle. It's a square bottle, and I mean it's just the color on that is just amazing, beautiful. Right? I mean, it's really good. And I find myself when I'm in the store and I see a bottle I'm interested in, one of the first things I do is pick it up and put it to the light.
Yes.
And it's just one of those things where you're like, it's either there or it's not. And so you put it up to the light and you're like, nope. And it's like, I don't even know anything else about it. It's too light.
Yeah, I don't need to try that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to be enjoyable. It's not going to have the flavor.
Right. Now, like, there's a few brands out there that specialize in the light colored whiskey, right?
I have one that I'm really a fan of.
The Obtainium, right?
The Obtainium light whiskey.
Right.
Now, again, it's super high proof.
It is. But I think it has to be, right? Because they're reusing bourbon barrels, right? Yeah. That's the term of light whiskey, right? It's a reused bourbon barrel. And it's really good. But they don't don't mess around with proofing it down.
I want to say it's like 130 proof.
Yeah.
But it tastes phenomenal.
It is really good.
Have we done that on the podcast?
We have not done an Obtainium yet.
Okay.
We haven't done an Obtainium yet.
There are multiple Obtainiums, and then if you see Obtainium in a store, right? Like, it's a super basic bottle, right? Just like a white label.
Yeah, just a white
with some writing on it that says Obtainium,
light
the
whiskey.
Proof.
Yep.
Like it's very simple, and that's all of their bottles. Like, but the light whiskey is the favorite of the Obtainium for me.
It's really good. It is.
Yeah.
But I mean, so like that's the thing. There's so many different bourbons and other spirits out there. So many cigars, and I mean, it's going to take us forever to get to all of them, guys. Like,
get to all of them. I don't know. That's
well, I mean, possible. to get to a good bit of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've had quite a few episodes where we've done 2 bottles.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still just, as far as criteria bottles, like that those are a little more difficult, right?
They're very hard to find.
They're very hard to find. But for other things that we drink, right, like we're just going to the store and finding different things to try out and bring in and share. Of course, you guys know we do Whiskey Wednesday. And at any given Whiskey Wednesday, there's 20, 30 bottles on the table and different things for you to try. So we just love bringing this stuff to you and letting you be a part of the atmosphere and what we do on a regular basis. I will say, because I don't think we dropped it in this episode, please drink responsibly. I have my big tumbler cup tonight, but unfortunately I forgot to wash it out because it had soda in it instead of water. So, I've got this beautiful cup here tonight. But we are still drinking plenty of water.
Yeah.
Plenty of water.
And I'll tell you, like, if you go, if you have a local cigar shop that you go to, and your state allows it. So we're in Tennessee, and Tennessee law is that if the location doesn't have a liquor license, they have a brown bag license, where the patrons can bring in liquor, and as long as the retail location is not serving it, it's legal to partake.
Yeah.
So if you're in a particular location that you can do that, I definitely recommend trying to get a few friends together and start a bottle share. I mean, that's basically what we're talking about here when we do Whiskey Wednesday. It's a bottle share. All the bottles are brought in by us.
Yeah.
And we put them on the table, and everything is fair game.
Yep.
To an extent. We
There's
don't
a
want
few bottles that get pulled back.
So there is a few bottles that get pulled back, and we also don't want anybody doing 3-finger pours.
Yeah.
So that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like respect the fact that everyone has brought in something that they've purchased, and they're not doing that. So it's a very much give and take, community type event, and we're all about community.
And I'll tell you, if you want into this community, right? Like, a really good way to make an impact is to go to a cigar lounge, right? Call before you go. Find out if you're allowed to bring in a bottle, right? But if you are, go to a cigar lounge that has a good group of people. Show up with a decent bottle of your favorite spirit, and I guarantee you'll almost always be a hit, right? Like the person that shares is always a favorite of those that are around.
And you don't have to bring something in crazy expensive. You can bring in a bottle of 101 at $25 a bottle.
Absolutely.
It doesn't break the bank. And, you might start a trend.
Yeah.
And with us, like, I mean, I just got invited one day to it, and it's been a great experience, and I love it. Like, the community's been great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I agree.
It expanded my bourbon knowledge. I mean, I was going down the bourbon knowledge beforehand, but this propelled me so much faster.
I don't know if it propelled. It kind of dragged us into some deep, dark depths of bourbon. And cigars for me, right? Like I
was already cigars. there. I was already there on the cigars.
I smoked cigars, but I smoked my favorite things, right? Like, and I didn't deviate from that. So Jason is pulling me down that hole, and I was already in the bourbon rabbit hole. So now it just, we're Alice in Wonderland.
Well, we got a few other people though we're trying to drag down with us though, right?
I mean,
it's fun trying to drag these people down and be like, hey,
they willingly come.
They have.
And then, it's like, hey, come over here.
Right.
And then it just kind of goes crazy. It goes haywire.
Yeah.
But I absolutely enjoy it. We make lots of great friends, fast friends, lots of great people. Cigars and bourbon, cigars and spirits is not a hobby for those who are financially challenged. It's expensive. It's expensive, right? So can you smoke inexpensive? Absolutely. But as you get around a group of people, you will find yourself smoking and doing more.
Right.
Guaranteed. So again, drink responsibly, spend responsibly, all that good stuff.
Definitely spend responsibly.
Yeah.
Just kind of know where you are, and just take your time with it. Duran and I, we've been doing the cigar thing for 10 years plus, right? And so the bourbon, not so much, right? I'm only maybe 5 years into the bourbon journey.
That's probably about the same for me.
Yeah, and I've learned so much, and that's the thing. Like, the community's great. Like, they'll educate you, especially if you can get into this bottle share thing, where people bring in stuff that you probably never had.
Yep.
You wouldn't be able to buy it because it's too expensive or it's too allocated or whatever the reason may be, right? And, there's been plenty of bottles where it's like, I'm not willing to spend that amount for that bottle. And someone brings it in and I'm able to try it.
And it changes your mind
And
completely.
it changes my mind completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the single bottle that I bought on secondary was one of those. I mean, so it's a great camaraderie type gathering.
And it's great networking, man.
It is.
Like,
It is.
You want to meet a community of people that can really, help you blossom as a person or in business, right? Like, normally the people you're going to find smoking cigars is those guys that are, connected to the community, right? So I know for me, it has made a huge difference in my business. And just the connections I've made and people I can call on to help with different things.
Yep.
It is tremendous.
And like, we haven't gotten into it, but like the cigar sharing that we do.
Yeah.
People, like, we're constantly just passing out cigars and taking cigars. And,
absolutely.
It's very much a, like a, how do you say it? I scratch your back, you kind of scratch my back, kind of community where it's, you walk in, like, I remember walking in and bringing a box of the Oliva Master Blends 3.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't think any of you have ever had the cigar. It's amazing and it's dirt cheap.
Yeah, try this.
And I handed out a dozen cigars.
Yeah.
To everyone. And, it's a great feeling to be able to share that with other people, share your experience.
Absolutely.
With other people. And this is one that was shared with me.
Yep.
Like, this was a cigar that was given to me that I'd never had before. I think the Black Diamond was one too.
Yeah.
That someone gave me that I'd never had. And you guys were like, how have you never had a Black Diamond?
Like, you're a cigar guy. Like, how have you not had a Black Diamond? That's kind of crazy. One cool thing about the La Nox, or most of the LFD line, if you buy a box, most people don't know that the box that you get from LFD is an ashtray.
That's right.
Right? Like, and I know that's totally off base from what we were just talking about, but I think it's one of the coolest things about LFD, right? Like, if you buy a box of their cigars, the box itself is actually an ashtray.
Yeah, I'll have to put a picture up, but this one is interesting. It's a big round box, and the lid is not connected, which makes you able to make it an ashtray.
Yeah.
And then where the cigars are is just a square cutout, and it's absolutely beautiful. The Solace is the same way.
Yep.
I think the Chapter 1 and the Capitulo are the same way. I think the Bull is the same way.
Yep.
The La Avocado is the same way. Now, I'm not sure about like the Ligero and the double Ligero.
I don't know about those. A lot of those.
I don't know about those, but like a lot of these other ones, you're right. Like, you buy the box and the box is an ashtray.
Yeah.
And like, that's wow. Nice touch.
Yeah.
Nice touch, LFD.
Yeah.
So, I'm actually going to get a little more, but we're almost done here.
That's how you know it's good. He went back to the same bottle twice in one episode.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't blow me away, but it's good.
Yeah, I agree.
This is one that I could drink on the regular. I mean, it's not one that I would relegate to mixing.
Yeah. And I know you guys think, like, God, do they like everything that they bring on the podcast? For the most part, but we have had some bottles that we've tried and we're like, no, that's not it. And then also we try bottles outside of our podcast.
We do.
So me and Jason were, at the lounge the other day. We tried a bottle of something. I'm not going to throw no names out there, but we were like, it met the criteria, but it just was not good. And we were like, nope, we're going to leave that one alone. So we don't have to badmouth it to a bunch of people.
Yeah. So for the most part, the stuff we're going to bring to you guys is stuff that we've had before, and we can tell you that we like it and it's good and it's worth your time. There will be that bottle here and there, or that cigar here and there. I mean, we've had cigars together that for the first time that we've either loved or not loved.
Not loved, yeah.
So it's going to happen that we're going to bring you something that we've never had. But for the most part, the stuff that we bring to you is stuff that we've had, and we can tell you that it's really worth your time.
Have we had a cigar or bourbon on the podcast that we've disagreed about yet?
I don't think we've had a bourbon that we've disagreed on. We might have had a cigar that we've disagreed on. I think the the Camacho Triple Maduro was one that
Yeah,
just wasn't up your alley,
you liked it a lot.
and I like it.
just,
And I like
I
it.
was just kind of like, eh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, but I think that's the beauty of this journey of cigars and spirits is, you know, it's very much personal preference,
I agree.
and yeah. So to each his own.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But you know, with that being said, I think we kind of close to the end of.
We are.
You
So
know, I
final
tried to.
thoughts.
Nah, you know, nothing. I mean, the bottle's great. I'm a fan of LFD, the La Nox, you know, but I was gonna say, you know, I tried to come, you know, and join the party with the hats tonight.
Yeah, my guy over here stepping up his game with
You
his
know,
you know,
I mean, you know, I got them at
his
the
little
crib.
straw hat.
I just don't wear them like that, man. Like I don't get, you know.
And I'm over here, you know, I usually wear a nice hat, and tonight I'm wearing a ball cap.
You know,
You
it
show up
happens,
in a
man. But that's a good ball cap because that's from the bar smoker we just
yeah,
went to.
yeah, man.
So you know,
Nice little
I've
barn
got
smoker.
2 of those at home.
Yeah.
I took the wife, but you know, great hat. You know, so nothing wrong with that. You know, tonight I tried to be a little more relaxed. You know, chill out.
I appreciate that
Yeah,
because that's what this is all about, is relaxing, right?
Well, you know, most times I come directly from the office. So, but tonight I was like, man, nah, I got to go home and get up out this suit. Chill out. It was a long day. But with that being said, man, thank y'all for joining us on High Proof Ashes. You know how it do. I'm Duran, and my co-host.
I'm Jason JB Smoke, and you know, we'll come up with a nickname for him eventually. You know, we're early on. We'll get there eventually.
Throw it in the comments, man.
Yeah, man, throw it in the comments. We want to see them. So, but with that, we'll see you on the next one.
Yes, sir.
So,
Peace.
enjoy your cigar and spirits.